Yo, hope everyone's having a good day. Those tracks, still handing them out. 10,000 tracks is not easy to hand out a lot of. It takes a minute, but I've been handing out a lot of tracks and a lot of cool stuff. Been doing the glow cross every night near this bridge over here at Blue Heron. Trying to get the boat in order and like getting things worked out. But I did have something that came up that I wasn't sure if I was supposed to draw too much attention to, but like I know persecution's documented in the Bible. But for whatever reason, like last night, somebody had sabotaged my Vespa scooter, and they took like a flathead screwdriver and went all over the ignition. Like I guess they were trying to start it. I'm not sure. They pried open the little cubby that was on the front, and this is at a park that does have a camera at the park, but I guess it's, and they have some cameras at the park, but I just find it really hypocritical that like when I go to the police officers, it's almost like they don't really want to check the cameras. You see what I'm saying? And I find this happens sometimes like in our society today, and I didn't want to just make this all about the cops, but it's mainly just about evil, whether it be in the cops or in the citizens, whoever it's in. But it is kind of hypocritical how a lot of cops will be happy, writing you a failure to register vehicle, a failure to have a title, a failure to have this, a failure to have that while you're living your life. But then when something happens and you're harmed, nobody wants to check the cameras. No one wants to tell you where the cameras are. And so I just pray that, evil will start to get exposed more. I look at some of the cops, I'm like, do I need to build my own surveillance grid in order to protect myself and other people in the community? Is y'all's stuff only used for your implications, or is it for the society as a whole? And so, my scooter got sabotaged by some evil person, right? And thank God, like I can still get the key in there and start it. Otherwise, it would cost me like $1,000 to have to replace the ignition system and then reprogram a new chip for the key, and that would have cost a lot of money. But thank God it's just, I can just deal with the scratches. But there's a lot of plans going on in the area to try to glorify God more and just to shine a light in the area. And yeah, this is just an example of persecution. I don't know if anyone else has had their vehicles damaged and sabotaged, and it is kind of weird. It's like a lot of people park their cars at the park at night, right? And it's just weird. Like sometimes you'll get even asked the wrong questions sometimes by like a police officer or someone in authority. It doesn't always have to be the police, but it's like, I'll give an example. Like one time I heard a school teacher actually say this. It's like if you park in front of a fire hydrant and then maybe you were illegally parked there and somebody walks out of a random store and just starts beating you to death with a baseball bat. Like, why in the world would anyone focus and try to make it seem like the reason you got hit by a bat was because you were parked in a fire lane? You see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the enemy wants to draw attention away from like where it needs to be focused on. And this is just an example. Like one guy in the city was like, you're not supposed to be parked there at night. And it's like, well, can we focus on like the thief that's like sabotaging vehicles more so than like me being parked incorrectly? And at the end of the day, it's kind of silly because everyone else parks at the park at night, you know what I mean? And it's like the speed limits. They say 70 miles per hour. And let's say somebody like shoots you, God forbid, and you're going 71 miles an hour. Like, are you going to bring up the fact that you were going 71 miles an hour when someone just shot you? So hopefully that little bit of truth like makes sense in someone's mind. But anyways, keep me in your prayers. At the end of the day, Paul and Silas, when they cast the demon out of a lady, they ended up in jail later. At the end of the day, John the Baptist had his head cut off because he was speaking truth to someone that was higher up in authority, and that Jezebel spirit used someone else to get their will. And so I just pray that God would bring more truth into all of our lives, and that we would help each other and not harm each other. And talk to people personally and stop gossiping so much about others. Like let's deal with things the right way, y'all. And much love, everybody. Peace.